The old course is down to our left-hand side, but fear not, we're going to just do a quick loop and we're going to come right down to it, just down that street just there to the left, and that's where we will let you free, so you'll be able to have a good look. But by coming up here, you know, it's really just to give you a sense of an ancient town. Yes, it'll always have the Golf Association, but there is a lot more to the town. The tradition of St Andrews, as is indeed the case with Oxford and Cambridge, is that as universities, the University of St Andrews will be one governing body, and within that then you have lots of different colleges. So the campus, it's not that you have a university campus here in St Andrews, the town is the campus, and different buildings dotted all around are different colleges that people might attend. And the governing body then would be there to, so you attended a college, and then the governing body there is just to monitor exams, maybe do joint labs or libraries and that kind of thing. So you very much get the old and the new here. As we come up here, for example, very shortly you can see the tower. This is St Salvator's College, very old. This here to your left hand side is a college, if you like. There would be lecture halls in there, there's a library there, you can see a coffee shop, oh, it leans right back. But really lovely. Some of them would also have accommodation as well. In other situations, dorms and accommodation would be elsewhere in the town. I suppose two of the more famous people that attended St Andrews, Prince William and Kate Middleton. This is where they met. This is where the romance began. And very shortly coming up on your right hand side, there's a little cafe. And they've been doing very well out of that romance ever since it happened. It's just here on the right, big sign where Kate met Wills. But really, most beautiful little place. Now, when we get through the next set of traffic lights, we're going to get up to the top of the road and we're going to turn right, and you want to be looking left then, because you're going to see St Andrew's Cathedral, or the ruin of St Andrew's Cathedral. There was a cathedral here going right back to the 13th century. It's said that it was consecrated and blessed by Robert the Bruce. It was about 400 feet long. You can only imagine, it took about over 100 years to build. And you do get a sense of the scale. But during the Reformation, John Knox came here and he didn't like it. He stripped the church of its images, its altars, what he felt were its, you know, the wealth, I suppose you would say, that was in the church. And later people came and said they used the church as a quarry. They just helped themselves to stone to build other buildings in the town. And today we simply have the ruin of St Andrew's Cathedral there to your left-hand side. But it's still lovely. But you really do get a sense of how big it was. So we're just doing a loop here now and coming right back down to the golf course. But again, just more colleges. Everything really in this part of the town is about education. Interestingly enough, there is a college further on the left-hand side, we'll just pass it in a moment, called the Madras College. And it was a gentleman called Andrew Bell who was based in Madras in India in the early 1800s, and he devised a way of teaching that he brought back to England and indeed Scotland. Initially what he found when he was in India was that he had a shortage of teachers. He needed a way of I suppose, been able to educate as many people as he could with a very short supply of teachers. And so what he did was he developed an idea where the teacher would teach the older children and the older children would teach the younger children. It was just a way of a hierarchy of passing on information, if you like, and it became known as the Madras system. He brought it back here, and for the 1800s that was how people taught. That was the way it was done. He died in the 1830s, and it's thought there were about 10,000 schools at that stage, all operating the Madras system. He made so much money out of it that he built the school here in St Andrews. And it continued to be the way education was carried out right up to the 20th century. And then at that point, it switched over to a more lecture style of teaching. So the Madras College is just in there to your left-hand side now as we come along. Right there. It's a secondary school, a high school. Now lots of cafes and restaurants, by the way, you see on the streets that we're driving here. We're just going to continue along here and make our way back to the drop-off point. Now many people here when they visit St Andrews like to buy golfing type souvenirs, and certainly where we're going to drop you down by the old course there is a well-known gift shop, if you like, attached to the old course. It is phenomenally expensive though, you know. It's nice to buy something that says St Andrews, but my goodness, they know how to put a premium on it. Just coming up here on the right hand side there's a shop, the golf shop of St Andrews. See the green frontage just there? It's a small store. It doesn't have a huge supply, but it has some nice things, all saying St Andrews on them, and I reckon a fraction the price of what you would pay in the souvenir stores at the golf course. When we get back here and we get to our drop-off point, I'll just show you how you walk back up. It's just a few minutes walk. But if you did want to buy something, if you have a golfer at home and you wanted to bring something back, I would certainly have a look in that shop. You may find it a little bit better. So here we go, everybody, the old course to your left-hand side. All right, everybody. Now, so where are you? Right behind you, you've got the...